You know, we're always hearing about the next big thing in regenerative medicine, right? How treatments are getting more and more powerful. But what if the next great leap isn't about power at all, but about patience?
Just think about that for a second. Instead of this huge flood of healing factors that's gone in like minutes, what if you could have a slow, steady trickle that works for hours? Well, that's the big idea we're going to dig into today.
And you know, the amazing thing is, the solution starts with a really powerful and super simple idea, just using what's already inside of you. As you can see here, it all kicks off with a simple blood draw.
Now, the key term you're going to hear is autologous. It's just a fancy way of saying that the treatment comes from the patient themselves. There's no donor, no outside stuff. It's your own biology, just concentrated and repurposed to help you heal. From you, for you.
Okay, so if we're using our own body stuff, what's the problem? Why change anything? Well, it turns out timing is everything. And for a long time, the timing has been a pretty big hurdle.
So the standard approach, you've probably heard of it, PRP, it kind of works like a firecracker. You activate it and boom, it releases its entire payload of growth factors and all that good healing stuff all at once.
And this slide, wow, it just lays out the whole issue perfectly. That therapeutic window for normal PRP is incredibly short. We're talking just a few minutes. The technology we're looking at today claims to stretch that window out to several hours. I mean, that is a massive difference.
And the source material itself is super clear on this. The existing tech is built for one thing: immediate release. It works, for sure, but it's fast. And what if fast isn't always what's best?
So, that brings us to the proposed solution, and it's a real paradigm shift that's all about creating a totally different kind of substance from the patient's own blood.
And here it is. This is the CellaRich Exosome kit, the piece of technology at the heart of all this. Its whole job is to take a patient's blood and transform it into something totally new, a platelet-rich BioGel. So what in the world is a BioGel? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a biological gel made from your own blood, and it's absolutely packed with a high concentration of platelets, growth factors, and, this is the really key part, these little messengers called exosomes.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about exosomes. Think of them like tiny little envelopes carrying super important messages between your cells. They're telling cells how to behave, how to repair, how to regenerate. They are absolutely critical communicators in your body's entire healing process.
The process itself is broken down into three main stages. You start with the autologous source. That's the patient's blood. Then you run it through the proprietary tech in the kit, and what you get at the end is this BioGel, just super rich in those cellular messengers, the exosomes.
All right, so that all sounds pretty great in theory, right? But how does it actually stack up against the way things are usually done? Let's get into the data.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. The source material gives us this direct side-by-side comparison. Right at the top, we see that key difference we've been talking about, immediate release versus an extended release. But just look further down. Look at the exosome content. That's a number that really jumps off the page.
So let's zero in on this, because this might be the most important point. If exosomes are the key messengers for healing, then how many you have really matters. Let's just isolate this number for a sec.
So with a conventional PRP treatment, you're looking at an estimated 20 to 30 billion of your own exosomes. Okay, that's our baseline. It's a huge number for sure, but just hold that thought.
Now get this. Here's the number that's claimed for the CellaRich Exosome preparation. Approximately 120 billion. That's not just a little bit more. That is a monumental jump. And when you see it like this on a chart, the difference is just staggering. This isn't some small incremental improvement. We are talking about a 4 to 6-fold increase in the concentration of these critical little messengers. Seeing it visually like this really drives home just how big of a claim this is.
So you've got a way higher concentration of exosomes and growth factors. Great, but what does that actually mean in practice? Well, it all comes back to that first idea we talked about, time. So when you put it all together, what are the final claimed benefits? Well, the tech is designed not just to get more exosomes, but to preserve them better, to recover more growth factors, and to create that stable biogel that can deliver everything over a much longer period.
And again, the brochure really hammers this point home, this extended release formulation. That's the secret sauce. That's the thing that allows for this big shift from a quick burst to a sustained delivery that lasts for hours.
Honestly, if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. The core innovation here is turning a healing sprint into a healing marathon. It's about giving the body's repair systems a prolonged, steady supply of the tools they need to do their job.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? Is this new focus on duration, on the slow and steady release of our own healing factors, is that the next big evolution in how we approach recovery? It really seems like the race isn't just about being powerful anymore, but maybe about being patient.